Welcome back. Now, you know I love me a good documentary, one filled with psychological aspects, emotion, control, power, a little bit of unhinged behavior, and we got us a good one here with Tell Me You Love Me. Okay, we're gonna get into all things documentary, Netflix, Anna, Derek, and the roles of so many different things right about now. If you are new here, I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and this documentary really spoke to me on so many different levels. As a mother, someone who is raising two sons, two black sons, in a world where I send my kids to school under the guise of trusting teachers to facilitate education, learning, growth, okay? I don't send my kids to school for them teachers to take advantage and use their power dynamic over my children. So being a black mother myself spoke a lot of things to me about this. Now we have Derek, who is a person living with a disability. Now his disability does not define him as a person, okay? He and his family go through this docuseries, and so many different things have happened, been taken away from Derek and his family. Now in the beginning, watching this documentary, you have a family, okay? He's born into a system where the father ended up leaving. The brother became, to me, in a lot of my eyes, the father figure, the man of the house. And when his brother was born, the mother knew that there was something wasn't right here, okay? But she still believed, okay, let's just see how things go. Derek was very young, and the brother said that when his brother came home, he instantly fell in love. There was this instant brotherly connection to protect, to care for. And once it came to light that Derek was having some issues developmentally, the father unfortunately left, so it was just the three of them. So you have this family who already has a lot going against them. Socioeconomically, you have the role of race, and the mom has tried different things to see what's going on with her son. She was told at one time to have him take vitamins and things would get better, but we saw how all these systems are in place to help people, but really were working against them. And so she tried, and then eventually the brother was in a PhD program at Rutgers University, and he ran into this woman who would change the outcome of the rest of their lives. And so there's a lot of layers here. And when I think about it, it started off with trust, okay? We trust you with our family member, with our son, our brother, we trust you. And you're telling us that through this keyboard, through this machine, you're able to communicate with him in other ways that we have not been able to. Other doctors, psychiatrists, people we have looked to for help has not helped us before. So you have that level of just desperation and need for answers. They want the best for their son, their brother, and so far they've been doing the best they can between the three of them. But you have to think the mom was a caregiver. The brother was also a caregiver. And as much as they love him at times, I'm sure they needed some additional support. And so when Anna came along, it was like, oh, this person might finally be able to help us, guide us, support us, come into our family, okay? And it takes a lot for sometimes in black households to trust someone from the outside to come in and give them supports. We are taught to keep everything inside, don't have anyone in our business, don't show emotions, and then for that person to be of a white individual. Now, a race plays a lot of part here, so if you're not comfortable with talking about race, sorry, okay? But I think race played a large role in this. So you have this white woman coming in who, due to different things that have happened to us in our lives, our ancestral trails, all the things that already we're bringing you in, when we might have challenges trusting people who don't look like us. So that told me right there, this family really did the best to try and bring Anna in, develop the trust through her brother, through the family's son, brother, studying for his PhD. And so she comes in and she starts to do too much. And I think when it comes to the profile of Anna, she had a white savior complex. There was a lot of desperation. She was unhappy in her own life, okay? And through the guise of this software, this little keyboard, I don't even think that there was a lot of software regarding it, but this keyboard was supposed to be holding Derek's personality, like all the things he wanted. She felt like in her eyes, the family was holding him back from being a man, okay? From the better things in life, okay? It's almost like she came in and thought what they were doing was not working, so I am the answer. Some narcissistic qualities, some white savior complex qualities. And we see a lot of this in family dynamics where even in adoptions, family dynamics, there's this transracial thing that happens where at time, people who don't look like us come in. I got the answers, okay? I can fix what's wrong with this broken black child, this broken black family. I got the answers. And so she came in, and over time they trusted her. She was ingrained in their family. They did things together, but she started to get too close. No boundaries, okay? She stepped in and tried to take over the role of, I feel like at times, his mother. And for this black woman to be a single parent, struggling on her own, trying to give both her boys the best life, and the endless 24/7 care that she was providing to her son living with a disability, this woman comes in like, oh no, I can do it better. He doesn't want to listen to your gospel, okay? He doesn't want to drink regular beer. You know, I think he wasn't drinking at all. He wants red wine and to listen to classical music. It almost felt at times she was molding him into the man that her husband was not. And this woman risked her entire career, livelihood, relationships with her children, which we'll get into a little bit later, for this relationship. Okay, and it makes me wonder about the mental instability inside of her that thought this was okay, even until like the documentary at the very end, still thinking that her love was all he needed. I got this. I can save him. But because behind the caretaking, you guys feeding him, the fact that he couldn't even walk by himself, you guys are doing that, okay? You guys are the ones why he can't have a personality and have a life on his own, because you're doing too much. You are facilitating and in some ways in her eyes enabling him, okay? And so she fell in love with him. Power over instead of powering within. And that's what this lacked, was powering within the family, empowering them. Instead, you know what? I'm gonna come in and have power over you guys. And she continued to overstep her role. And it got to a point where she felt like on the keyboard, he was typing saying that he was in love with her. He asked her to take off her clothes and have intimate acts with her, okay? And when I'm watching, I'm like, this man can barely, walk on his own, feed himself, bathe himself. You see his mom washing his hair. Ma'am, how in any capacity is he going to have physical relationships with you? And I'm not saying that anyone living with cerebral palsy cannot have romantic partners. I'm not saying that, but it felt like she was guiding him because she needed something that was lacking in her own life. And this young man, this disabled man living with a disability, was her answer. Okay? And I know throughout the documentary, she kept saying she was going to tell her husband, but it kind of felt like the husband did not find out until the court case when she got arrested. But I could be wrong. Let me know. Do y'all feel like she told him? Because it really didn't seem like it at all. Okay? And it comes down to the fact of consent. Can someone in this mental capacity, just focusing on him, is he able to provide consent? I don't think so. And it was interesting how the brother became very emotional. You saw the pain, the hurt, okay? And for a black man to be vulnerable, that's already very challenging and difficult in your personal life, but to do that on film and camera is another thing, okay? How he realized at times he had these bruises on his back, and the family could not figure out where the bruises came from. And it actually came out that it was from this mat that she was having relations with him on in her office, okay? In her office. Not only that, the first time they actually had intimacy was in his house, the mother's house. The level of disrespect and disregard for anyone outside of herself shows me, and once again, I'm not her therapist, I'm not a psychologist, but it reminded me just of a lot of narcissistic traits, a lot of narcissism. Okay, it's all about me. My needs need to be met. What fulfills my ego? What inflates it? This relationship, D-man, inflates it. And she had this delusional idea that we would live forever together. And at one point, she said her and her husband would take care and they would live in I guess a polyamorous relationship. I'm not sure, but what was going on up here? Okay, what was going on? All right, what was really going on? And now you have to think about once again, the level of trust that a family puts into someone outside their circle. They've been doing this for so long, the caretaking, to let this person in and her to disrespect everything, the foundation of their livelihood, and think that we're not doing enough, that you can do better. Okay? Narcissism, control, power, having a white savior complex. And I read and looked into a little bit further that there are a lot of people who are living with a disability who become at risk by teachers, and I think even people who were doing this little keyboard facilitated communication who have been involved in sexual assault. Okay, it seems like this way of learning and helping people communicate is very problematic, and the mom had to know that too. But the mom, even in the end, was like, she didn't do anything wrong. And that's what you see with a lot of people who have narcissistic traits, is that the parents and family at times enable that behavior to make them think, I'm not doing anything wrong. They're not either. My son, my daughter is a good person. You can be a good person and be flawed. You can be a good person and have narcissistic traits. Or can you? Let me know. Can you be a good person? I don't think at times you're always malicious, but people are flawed individuals. Okay, now we get to the point where the mama's like, hello, police. Once again, for a black family to trust the police, that says something too. And she was smart. Mama was like, we gonna record these phone calls. Brother like, we gonna record these phone calls. And listening to them, the delusion, the way she spoke about it. She really did not believe anything that she was doing was wrong. She really thought, oh, they're calling me. They want to know the details. They want me. I'm in. They want me to join the family. Okay? And let's talk about the court case. Okay? Because it comes out that in the court's eyes, they saw who Derek D-Man was. But in her eyes, she felt like they were putting him on display to use against her. Okay, but it's interesting. It was okay for you to put him on display and take him all along on these conferences, all this. It was okay for you when it worked for you, but now that's not working for you anymore. There's a problem. Okay, did y'all notice that? Okay, it's good when it works for me, but when it's not, I don't want it. And so a lot of the evidence in her eyes was not really been able to be seen. And so she got this sentence, and I'm thinking 12 years. Okay, that was what, 2015. At the beginning, they show her out of prison, so she must have got an early release. Okay, still terrible, but you know, that's the legal system when you're white. But then at the end, when they show her coming out of her house, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. She went to jail for 2 years and they had her case overturned. Say what now? Okay. And then with her children advocating for her. The husband, we never saw the husband, the original husband, because I think now she married to somebody else. At times I also felt like, was she trying to replace one black man with another black man? And I know some of y'all are like, why everything gotta be about race? Look at this, and that is why. But I felt like it was just a disjustice. And to have her children in the courtroom also trying to fight for their mom, it shows you how children love their parents unconditionally. You can be abused, you can be manipulated, your parent can be a narcissist, a perpetrator, and still you will be in that courtroom fighting for your mother, your father, your caregiver. It's that unconditional love. It's that unconditional love. And so in the end, To me, it felt like she was still in love with him. That she still wondered what it could be like. But it just shows you how trust, power, and control. This family really brought her in to help, to nourish. She was a part of the family, but instead, she took the power and control and used it to benefit her. She blew up her whole life. Her needs were not being met at home, and instead of working through those things, no, this is easier to take advantage of this person, this individual. This is easier. And I want you guys to think about how much of a person it takes to take advantage of someone who's not able to give consent. Intellectually, physically, whether you are under the influence, whether you've been through a lot of trauma in your life, what consent means. Okay? But these are just my quick thoughts on the docuseries. A lot of layers, a lot of race. But I want to know your thoughts. Of course, we can get into it. Make sure you like, you subscribe. And I will see you guys for another documentary. All right. Bye.